Hello guys and welcome back to a new buy wholesale video on our channel FPL Nerds. My name is MJ.
Hi, my name is Timo, and today we're gonna go through the selection of players that we chose for you through the buy, hold, sell categories. So let me explain quickly what it is. Buy are players that are performing well or maybe have good fixtures, so we think it could be a good investment for your FPL team. Hold are just players that can have a bit of difficult fixtures or maybe not performing very well, but we think there's a good hold for now. And sell finally are players that are not performing well or maybe have bad fixtures or maybe injured, and we think you should get rid of them and get somebody else instead right away. So let's not waste any more time and let's jump into it. Alright guys, so the first player we have for you today on the list is actually Marcus Rashford. I know that a lot of people were against getting any assets from Manchester United in the beginning due to their lack of performance and the issues they have within the team and within the coach, of course. But now, since Ten Hag came to the team, he's starting bit by bit improving it and putting more discipline there. And actually, that shows in the last three matches that they played so far. Since they had actually quite strong opponent, but they managed to win one of them and actually get a tie in the other two. And the best run of fixtures for Manchester United is actually the one coming for the next maybe 6 or 7 weeks. But you will notice that on the screen we actually put the next three because everybody knows that on the game week 16 we will have the unlimited transfers due to the World Cup and everything. So we'll have a chance to rearrange our team completely. So for us, we will only be considering the fixtures from now until game week 16. So let's talk about Rashford himself. Rashford actually been the main man in the front before Ronaldo, actually, because Ronaldo is having a bit of a problem with the coach himself. And last night he actually played only 45 minutes. He started in the second half, while Ronaldo played the whole 90 minutes in the Europa League. So I think that a good chance for Rashford to start. Overall, I think Rashford is a good asset for you if you want to take a punt for the next 3 weeks with Manchester United, and he's only cost 6.6, so it's not gonna be like a big hurt to your budget.
Yeah, Rashford can definitely be a good choice at his price point and considering the three fixtures that he has left until we can use our next wild card. I truly think that he can be a really decent choice. And looking at the Manchester United form in general, they're improving more and more by each match, basically. And look, at this point, his price is 6.6. We have other options as well in the United team that you might want to get a grab on, which are, for example, Anthony, who played so far 6 matches. He has 3 goals in his first 3 matches. Then he blanked for 3 times. Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo, but let's say he's not in the best terms with Ten Hag, and also he doesn't really fit their style of play, Manchester United
And he's much
new style
more
of play.
expensive. He's like 5 or 6 millions more than Rashford.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, he plays as a striker actually instead of a midfielder. So yeah, considering all these things together, I think Rashford can be one of the best choices considering Martial is still injured.
Yeah,
If Martial would be back, then it's a different story. I think he would be an actual good choice. He's very good with this high pressing that Ten Hag is trying to implement. But until that point, I think Rashford is the safest pick in the United team.
and the cheapest one because everybody else is more expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. So let's move on to the next one on the list and see who it is.
All right. So for the second pick, we have Callum Wilson. And yeah, the time has come to finally speak about him once again. I think he's been on many of our minds in the past few game weeks. Yeah, what can I say about him? He's obviously at this point the nailed striker in the Newcastle team. All right, and looking at the Newcastle team, they are in an amazing form. They've been scoring for fun in the past 5, 6 game weeks. Their last match, they won against Spurs 2-1 away. So I would say they're absolutely incredible at this point from an attacking, even from a defensive perspective. They're not, let's say, I'm not really sure that most probably they will not keep within the big four, but they are still a very strong team. And considering that Wilson is priced at 7.3 and has an XGI of 0.67, and looking the next two fixture, Aston Villa and Southampton away, if you are looking for a striker, if for example you had Solanke and you want to upgrade him after the injury, I think that's a good pick. Or if you have 7.3 and are looking for a short-term investment considering the wild card, once again he's a very good pick. So in my opinion, he's the nail striker, focal point of the attack of one of the most balanced and attacking teams, I would say, in the league.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I always liked Wilson even in the previous season, but the only problem with Wilson was his injuries. He's a very injury-prone player. But considering that we looking ahead for only the next three fixtures, and
Mm-hmm.
two of them are actually really good for Newcastle. And as you said, Newcastle have been proven that they're a very good team this season. And he's mainly gonna get you goals. Very low chance that he will get you any assists, as you can see from the underlying stats.
Mm-hmm.
That he's mainly focused on the goals. And in the last 4 games, 4 games, he got 1 goal and 1 assist. Yes, I know that in this specific team there is Almiron, who's been a big hype these days with everybody because he's been scoring like a lot, but he's exceeding his underlying stat by far, Almiron. And I don't think this is sustainable. And plus, if you have Almiron on your team, you're gonna think if you're gonna play him or not to put him on the bench. And if you put like a 5.5, 5.6, I think by now, an Almiron on the bench, that's not really ideal. So for me, I think the best option right now in the Newcastle team as an attacking perspective is Wilson. Because we know he's a great striker, he can know how to get the goals, and they have a good chance with the two fixtures coming up for him. And if you want and you don't want to keep him out for the Chelsea game, you can always switch him in the last one in a 2 game week time. But yeah, overall, I think Wilson is a good punt and he's very, very different. He's only at 2.4% ownership right now. So if he does scores a couple brace at least for in the next 2 matches, he will get you high up the ranks.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so that's it for Wilson. Let's see who we have on the whole category now. All right, guys. So the first one we have for you on the whole category is Sun. So yeah, hear me out. I know that Sun didn't really do much in the last 4 game weeks or so. Not much actually, since he did had his hat trick in game week 8.
Yep.
But we all know that Sun could be an explosive player. Last season he was the Golden Boot holder with Salah and tied with I think 23 goals overall.
Yeah.
So I think he can still score and do much damage to the other team. He just the whole Spurs team I think needs to find a little bit of click together, as they did in the beginning actually. But now I don't know. It seems like they kind of lost it. However, the next fixture is against Bournemouth, so it's a very good chance for Spurs to get there again and start scoring these goals. Yes, after that is Liverpool, but it's Liverpool at home. And Liverpool so far are being ups and downs, so we don't really know what could happen in that match. And
Yeah, it's
then,
a wait and see.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And then Leeds at home, which is also very good for Spurs. So overall, I think if you have Son, keep him for now, at least for the Bournemouth game. See how they do in this game, and if they do really well and score a lot of goals, then I will still keep him for the next two. And then from game week 16, if you want to change him, you can always change him with the wild card.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I'm actually one of the people who owns Son after the hat trick. I also got very excited. I was like, okay, now he's gonna
Like
start
everybody
smashing
else.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, and he was actually pretty close. That's my point. He hit the crossbar a couple of times. He had some very nice long shots, and yeah, he did not really convert it into FPL points. But honestly speaking, at this point, if you have, I personally have him, and I am considering to change him, but definitely not against Bournemouth. Okay, they are really, I don't want to say weak, but they're lacking in defensive capabilities.
True.
And this is definitely a good fixture for them, even if it's away, doesn't matter. And as you already said, Timon, the next match against Liverpool, it's wait and see, and we see how Liverpool will play in the next match, and also how Son will perform. But at least for this next one fixture, it's definitely not a sell. You have to keep him, despite the fact that he's gonna score or not. Theoretically speaking and technically speaking, statistically speaking, everything you want, he should be delivering this next game week.
Yeah, and just another quick one for you guys. Bournemouth has conceded the most of goals of all the Premier League with 25 so far. So
Okay.
that's always a good sign when you the opponent is like a bit leaky in the defense, and you have somebody like Son or Kane in the front of Spurs that can score these goals. So I think he's a good hold for now, and then after Bournemouth game you can reassess and change him, or maybe if you want you can keep him up till the game week 16, and then from there you can always restructure your team as a whole.
Exactly.
All right, so that's it for Son. Let's move on to the next one.
All right, so our second hold will be none other than Mo Salah. And hear me out. I know he's 12.8. I know he hasn't been delivering as we all expected this season. However, I'm actually one of the people who sold him many game weeks ago, to be very honest. But if you still have him until now, I see no reason why you would want to sell him against a Leeds match at home, considering the fact that Liverpool has a lot of injuries at this point. He's even more nailed than he was before. And despite the very bad form, let's say, that everybody says that he still has an XGI of 0.66. Okay, so I would only expect him to do this number to increase against this Leeds opponent who is kind of leaky defensively.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead. You want to
no,
add
no, that's it.
something? Okay. Well, I'm actually one of the players that, or the managers that did keep him so far. So I am considering on holding him for at least the Leeds game. I'm actually maybe considering to hold him until game week 16, until we get the unlimited transfers, and then
Mhm.
maybe I can reassess from there. But look, guys, yeah, Salah is not scoring in the Premier League, yes, but he still have a lot of shots on the target. He still have a lot of chances that he could have converted, but he wasn't. It wasn't his day in every time. But if we look outside the Premier League and we take a look at the Champions League, he's actually scoring and getting points. The last match he got a goal and an assist, so he still can do it, and we know he's such a quality player. So I don't think it's the best time to sell him right now if you have him. If you have him, keep him for at least the Leeds game. See how they do. If they perform well, I can keep him for the
Exactly.
next two. If not, then yeah, you can change him. I know it's a lot of money, and you could use the fund to do something else. But for such a fantastic game for Liverpool next, I think we should keep him for at least one this week.
Yeah, definitely. Keep him for the Leeds fixtures, and then you can reassess.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so that's it for the Egyptian king, and let's see who we have on the on the sell category now. All right, guys. So the first one on the sell category is actually Solanke. Look, Solanke actually, when I bought him a few like 4 game weeks ago, he did well. He got me like a few returns here or there. He got me some points, but unfortunately now he's been yellow flagged, and we still don't know if he's gonna be fit for the next match or not. And even if he was fit, we take a look at the next match. It's against Tottenham, so it's not an easy fixtures at all.
Mhm.
And it's not a great chance for him to score anything there. So, in my opinion, I think we should maybe get rid of Solanke and get somebody else with a better chance and better fixture. Maybe if you have some funds and get Wilson, like we get in the like we mentioned, sorry, in the beginning. Um,
And we will also get most probably.
I'm actually considering doing the move myself to get Solanke out and then put in Wilson instead.
Mhm.
Yeah, so overall, I think everything happening right now with Solanke is an indication for us to sell him and maybe get somebody better for the next three.
Yeah, and also I saw that you mentioned the Tottenham fixture. Yeah, but let's not forget that also in the next three they have Everton. Despite the fact that it's at home, first of all, we don't know how fit he will be by the Leeds and Everton match. But the Everton match, it's actually a very difficult match in terms of they're a very good defensive team. and they're starting to improve even more defensively. They made a few transfers, and little by little, they're integrating better and better into that defense. So at this point, considering one, we have Solanke yellow flag. Two, he has bad fixtures. Three, he has an XGI of 0.28. I think he's a definite sell. I know he was. We actually said he was a buy a few game weeks ago. Indeed.
He was.
However, when we said that, he had a very good run of fixtures, and he actually delivered in those three fixtures 4 returns. So yeah, he had his time, but now I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, let's search for another good differential. I would say Wilson.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next cell then and see who it is.
So the final sell we have for this video is none other than Bowen. Look, I know he had a few good game weeks in which he scored and rewarded the managers that had him. But considering that his yes, I know, good for you. It put you up in ranks a bit. Actually, it
Yeah,
helped you out.
it
Very
did.
good
It did.
differential. But now, if you look at the fixtures, he's gonna have Man United away, Crystal at home, and Leicester at home. So first of all, they're not good fixture, and second of all, and maybe even more important, he is yellow flagged. He had an injury. He picked up an injury, and we still don't know for how long he's gonna be missing out. Most probably, he will just be missing the Man United game and then be back for Crystal Palace. But even if he's back for Crystal Palace, let's not forget that they're a well-organized defensive team. So considering there's only 3 game weeks left till we have a wild card, I know we are repeating ourselves, but I just cannot ignore this. Considering there's only 3 game weeks left, I would definitely sell him and use those funds elsewhere.
Yeah, another point actually that makes us release Boyne from our team right now is actually he lost the penalties. When he missed the penalties a
Yeah.
couple of game weeks ago, he actually is not on penalties anymore. And even he was not on the pitch last night when they played in the Europa League. It's who?
Lanzini
Lanzini,
scored.
exactly. Lanzini is the one who took the penalty and actually scored from it. So
And the previous game, it was Ben Rama.
there you go. So Bowen is off penalties. It was one of the plus points that we actually bought him for. Now he doesn't have him. He's yellow flagged. You have Manchester United next. We don't know if he's gonna play or not. So again, all the indications we have right now is telling us to sell Bowen. And then maybe after game week 16, if we see that things are getting better for West Ham, we can always get him with the new transfers. But for now, I think he's a definite sell.
Yeah, I have to agree on that.
Okay, so if you have nothing to add more, that's it for the video today. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the content, please don't forget to drop us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get all the new videos. Have a good one, and we'll be seeing you soon.
All right. Cheers, everybody.